قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
These three superpowers, and that's another story, but yeah, it was through deception and the fault of some of the Arabs as well. But they definitely took over these lands, and they ruled them for 23 years. And they left in there liberal democracy. That's what they left in charge. They brought us democracy. And that's what they left in charge. And since then, quite frankly, we've only had hell. I lived there for a number of years, 12 years in fact, or 10 years I lived in the Arab world. A couple of years in Turkey, which was okay because the Turks are not, at the moment, with the president, much nicer. But I lived in the Arab world for 10 years, and let me tell you that there's no democracy there. I mean, it's not democracy. It's not like here. It's not liberal democracy. And, here's Halim promoting liberal democracy for the Middle East. Well, we've had it there, mate. We've had it there now for 60 years. And all that has brought is nothing. And someone said that the Muslims haven't invented anything or haven't produced anything. Well, if you talk about the last 60 years, then you're right. They couldn't even make a wheel. Okay, the only group, the only political country that has made something is in fact Hamas. They made their own weapons. But apart from that, no one has made anything in the Middle East. You got Egypt with 95 million people. No one can make anything. It's like, we don't know how to make anything. And the reason, it's not that we don't know how to make anything, it's that the country is polarized. The country is taken over by tyrants who rob the land, rob the wealth, and basically rob the rights of the people. And that's what democracy has brought us. It's just like the knocking on the door. It's like George Bush said. George Bush said, we're going to bring them democracy, Iraq, that is, just like the democracy of Egypt, which is the perfect example of democracy. Wow. Thanks, George. Egypt had a president who was from the political party called the Democratic People's Party. And of course, he was the president for 30 years. 30 years, George. Okay, 30 years. So how can you say you're going to bring democracy? I mean, what is democracy then? I mean, I don't see Obama saying, no, I'm hanging in, and then I'm going to put my son in charge after that. And if anyone comes near me, I'm going to kill everybody. No. I don't see Obama doing that. He stepped down for Trump. Yeah, he doesn't agree with Trump. He doesn't like him, but he stepped down because he believes in democracy. Well, let me tell you that over there, they don't believe in democracy. Okay, if you come close to their government, then of course, they're going to kill you. And you know that, and George knows that. And that's why he said that's the type of democracy that they want for the Middle East. And Halim, that's the type of democracy that you're talking about. If you think that they're going to bring something like Australia there, forget it, buddy, because it's not happening. With Mohammed Morsi, you may have found that, but it's not happening really. All we have is oppression, and all we have is tyranny. And of course, the Arab Spring was all about that, trying to get rid of these tyrants. It hasn't worked. We haven't been able to get rid of them, and they're still there, and they're still having elections, and they're still saying they're getting democracy, and they're still receiving $2 billion from America each year, and they're receiving money from England each year, and they're receiving money from everywhere. Everyone will give them money to support the democracy. Or you watch. How long do you think that Sisi's going to be president? He'll be president until the people knock him down, or until he dies. And that's just how it is in democracy in the Middle East. So stop kidding yourself, all right? You're telling the people that there's no such word as Khalifa in the text. Of course there is. You know there is. If you don't, then you shouldn't be in your position as an associate professor teaching Islam. Teach politics or something, but don't teach Islam, because Islam's our field. And clearly, when you start making accusations like that, saying that it doesn't exist, now I've heard you saying that hijab doesn't exist, and we'll get there. We'll discuss that issue, inshallah. But for now, I hope that this fitna has been cleared up. And, this is not something inviting to extremism. We are not violent in any way. We are a peaceful people, but the truth has to be said. And we shall no longer be pushed around by people telling us that this doesn't exist in the religion and that doesn't exist in the religion, or all this, when we clearly have the text. And we will fight you. We will fight you in a peaceful manner, and we will debate you, and we will prove, if we cannot prove to you to come round to the right side, then at least we'll prove to everyone else. And I advise all those who are in the classes of Dr. Halim Rane to be very careful, because I know a sister who has left the religion. She was a sister who used to wear hijab and khimar, and she would wear the hijab, and then after being in his classes, after a couple of years, first she stopped wearing the hijab, then she went down further, and now she's back to her old religion, which is Jewish. And we can thank our brother and our doctor, Associate Professor Halim Rane, for that one. Halim, your job is to guide people. It's not to turn people away from Islam, but it is to invite them to Islam, to show them the right way. And if you don't like Islam, buddy, then you should take up politics or something else and show your true colors, but stop hiding behind the La ilaha illallah. Okay, if you don't like Islam, stop hiding behind La ilaha illallah and just go out and say it. No one's going to do anything to you here. You're in this country. It's a different country. No one's going to do anything to you. Just come out and say if you don't like it. But if you do love Islam, then please teach the right way and stop telling lies. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.